In video number 6, we're going to talk about creating a product or membership level so that you can create different segmented scenarios. So when somebody buys, let's say, the front end offer, they are sent access to that product. Or let's say somebody buys access to your monthly level or free level, then you can have different scenarios and different access to different things. So with that said, let's move on, and I'm going to show you step by step how to do this. Okay, so let's talk about levels here. So if you go to the main dashboard and you click on levels, you will see that initially for you won't see any levels at all. At the moment, I created 2 different levels, so that way you can get a better idea of how they work. But there's a free level here and there's a paid level. You know, some membership sites will have free, some will have paid, some will have multiple levels like gold, silver, bronze, and some will only have 1 level. So that's why it's really dependent on you and how you've mapped things out in your own site funnel. So given that, let me just give you some ideas so that you can see what you're able to work with here. So free levels, if we click on edit here, you can see it says level slug. That just tells you what the level is about. So as long as you can see that and you can say, okay, that level does this, and you can name it the way you want to name it, then that's the level slug. So you put free dash level. There's not any spaces. They have dashes in them. Level label is, of course, the name of the label. So people are going to see that free access. And then, of course, level access, you have lifetime, you have limited, you have date range, and you have regular period. So let me go through these so that you can understand like what exactly they mean. Lifetime means they have lifetime access to the content. So that's kind of like you could create a level that they pay $37 and they get lifetime access to all of the content that is inside. Now, that would be lifetime. If you wanted to do something like limited, and you can say for, every, 7 days or every so often, this is the level access kind of thing. And after it expires, they move to like certain levels. So you could do every month, or you could do, let's say 3 months. So you're saying that this level only lasts like 3 months. And maybe after 3 months, they get sent to a different level. Or they can have free access for, 3 days. And then after that, they get moved to a certain level. So this could be the pay level. And then after 3 days, if they don't, upgrade, they get sent to the free level. Now that's limited. Then we have date range. You can specify a specific date and an end date. So this would typically oftentimes work only if you had like a certain sale going on. So if you wanted this to recur and be evergreen, this would not be necessarily ideal. Now, then you have regular periods. So this is like, 1 month or 3 months. And after they expire, they get moved over here. Now, in this case, I'm just going to do lifetime. And that's just access. We're not talking about billing options or anything like that at the moment. Now, then you have additional access settings. You have custom WordPress role. So what does this mean? This basically means that upon registration of a new user, what role do they have? Like, what kind of permissions do they have? Typically, you want to be default registration option or maybe something like a subscriber. You don't really want to give these like editor or author or anything like that unless you want to give people the option to edit parts of your site. Maybe you have a site filled with people who create content, right? And you want to set them as authors so that they can add content freely to your site. Maybe you're collaborating with them and you want to see what kind of content they're submitting, maybe a coaching site, for example. But you don't want to give them editor rights. That means that they can actually approve a post. You want to maybe give them author rights so that they can submit content, but at the end of the day, you approve it, or you want to give them some sort of level of permissions. So typically, the majority of you, it's going to be basic default register option, basically read rights. They don't have write rights. They have the ability to read it and to see it, but they can't edit it. Next, we have billing options. So as you can see, payment type is free or payment. So as you can see, if it's free, there's really nothing that you have to work with. Payment, of course, you will have other options as you can see here. So level price, let's say we want to do $17. And billing recurrences, you can do ongoing, you can do limited. So limited would mean like a fixed term membership site. What I mean by that is there are certain membership sites where you can set it to like 6 weeks only or 6 months only. If that's the case, then limited would be a good route to go. And you could say, okay, I want to do 6 times, 6 charges, 6 times. You can also do trial price, trial period, and you could say, I'm going to allow people to test it out as a trial, $1 for a certain period of time. Let's say normally 7 days, or you don't even need to have a trial at all. Now, if you choose, let's say ongoing, you can charge them an ongoing price. And you can go back up here if you want to do, let's say, every month. You could do every month. So limited, date range, regular period. You could do, say, 6 months. If you want it to go ongoing, obviously you can increase that cap. But this will be ongoing, so it'll charge people an ongoing price for $17 over and over again. Now, subscription plan details here. You can actually have this show up inside of these subscription plans. So if you want to put like call to actions or headlines or sales copy in here, you can. And of course, you have your price tags here. Now, if we go back here and you want to take a look at another example that might be simpler because it is paid level. So paid level, paid access. Level access is regular period. We have 1 month. And we can have, let's say they don't pay after the 1 month period. They expire, they get moved to the free level. I've specified everybody to be a subscriber. And then you have payment. The actual price of the payment is ongoing, and the trial period price is $1 for 7 days, and the price text, of course, is $27 since we have that up here, and that's pretty much it. Now, once you create your level, you can create buttons for those levels by going to the subscription plan showcase up here. And as you can see here, we have, since we have 2 levels, we can see that one level is $0 and then the other one is $27. And the nice thing about this is they have different templates that you can pick and choose from. And for you advanced folks, they have a custom CSS here as well. Now, in order for the buttons to work, you do have to go to payment services and make sure that your payment processors, you click on these, you add the API information, and then of course it connects to these. So now that you understand the basics here, if you go back to levels, you will notice that under subscription link, it says this shortcode here and then your content here. This is a way to actually protect your content. And the way you do this is every page where you only want access to the paid access. Like, let's say page 1, you only want to give people access to page 1 if they are, paying members of that level. And then basically what you do is you put the shortcodes around the content. So if somebody of a different level tries to access that content, they will not be able to do that. Now, I'm going to show you in more depth in the next video when we talk about file and content protection.